As it's going off a little bit, but as Mexico comes into it, I'm sure we should talk a little bit about Mexico, because that's very much home to you these days, isn't it?
It is, yes, Roger. The story, quite honestly, without going into great detail, is a very beautiful girl that I met and married, and she is my wife, Martha. I had gotten divorced. It was a period of my life when I was bachelor once again, as we say, and I was wandering around the world. Did a tour of Mexico, our first tour down there, and Martha was a dancer and a singer, a top singer and dancer and a movie star, and she appeared on the show with me on the tour. We fell in love, and the old story. I didn't speak any Spanish, she didn't speak any English, but my great interest, even though everyone always says, Bill, you say, I do love the country. I live there now, and my businesses are there, and my children and everything. But the real love was for Martha, and I fell in love with her, and that's quite the story. You know, I learned to speak Spanish, record in Spanish, did television there, have a television series, and that's the big part of my life now.
And the business is hotels and motels and...
Well, it's not quite that big. Everybody says that, hotels and motels. We have one hotel that we are opening in the 1st of July this year in the city of Veracruz, and we plan a motel or two. This is in the planning, and we're under construction now. But it is motels and hotels, but none of them are open yet. But the first one will open in July of this year.
Is it going to be called Haley's Hotel?
Well, no, it's going to be called Fiesta Inns de Mexico. So if anyone of my dear friends in England are on vacation and you're in Mexico and you come to Veracruz, you stay with me at the Fiesta Inn, and we will play you some beautiful music there.
Right. Okay, let's go to the telephone again. Oh, no, I'll tell you what we were going to do, Hugh, because as we said right at the beginning of the show, I think Hugh is the biggest Haley fan in the world and has got everything that Bill's ever made and knows more about Bill than Bill knows himself, and puts all this out in a newsletter every month, right?
Well, no, not every month, unfortunately. It used to be every month a little while back, but I'm afraid other commitments sort of...
like Barclay Bank.
Shh, mustn't plug on the air, you know. What was the name of the bank again?
I think you better let me do this, Hugh. You know, because, and I have to say this, and Roger has given me the right to do it, and thank you very much for it, Roger. So many people come to us on the shows and they say, Bill, you know, we don't hear much about you, and how can we find out about you? And Hugh McCullum has the biggest international fan club for Bill Haley and the Comets, and is right here in London, and anyone who is a fan or likes the music or wants to know anything about it can join that club, and Hugh will give you the address, and Hugh can supply you with all the information, and I think that's the quickest and easiest way to say it, Roger.
Certainly.
Well
okay,
done.
Hugh, give us the address.
Okay, well, the address is Hugh McCallum. Have you got a pencil ready? 26 Airedale, same as the dog, Airedale Road, South Ealing, London, W5 4SD. I'll be pleased to hear from anybody.
Great. We'll give the address again before 2 o'clock. But Al's been waiting on the phone for quite some time, so let's get to it. Al? Hello, Al?
Roger.
Yes. Sorry to keep you waiting all this
That's
time.
all right.
Say hello to Bill.
Hello, Bill.
Hello, Al. How are you?
Fine. Glad you're over in this country, Your Highness.
Well, thank you, Al.
The question I'd like to ask is, can you narrow down the keys that you play in mainly to 3 or 4 keys?
The keys of the different songs, Al?
Yeah.
Well, that's pretty hard to do because we, over 400 records, I think we've covered the entire keyboard. But I would say the key of F, the key of A, the key of B flat, and the key of E flat. These are basically the main ones that are in my voice range.
Since Rudy Pompili's been with you, has it always been the tenor sax, or has he ever played either of the others, the baritone or alto?
No, Rudy Pompili is a very accomplished musician. He plays tenor saxophone, baritone saxophone, alto saxophone, flute. He plays bagpipes,
He just drove off the road.
In fact, seriously, I know it's you think I'm joking, but I'm not. Rudy is taking lessons while he's here in the British Isles on the bagpipe.
Oh, you're joking.
No, he really is. He has a set of bagpipes.
Oh, dear.
It's a joke. It's a famous joke that I tell about the bagpipes. I can't tell it on Capital Radio. If I ever see you, Al, I'll tell you. It's the joke.
All right, Al?
Yeah, but as well, Bill, you know the famous instrumental, Rudy's Rock?
Yes.
Did he get it together himself, or...?
Rudy is the exclusive writer. This Rudy's Rock is all Rudy's. He is he has a Cadillac from the royalties from it, actually. So no, Rudy wrote it completely himself. Yes.
All right, Al?
Well, I'm learning the sax, so I've been learning it for a couple of years. I only hope I ever get half as good as Rudy Pompili.
Well, I hope you do too, Al. And if you ever come to the shows, I'm sure Rudy would love to meet you and talk to you.
Yeah.
All right.
Bye, then.
Thank you very much, Al. Right, what you got next for us, Hugh?
Well, this is fast becoming the Rudy Pompili Appreciation Society show, because the next one actually features Rudy. It's a thing called Woe Mabel, and when it came out in the States, I know you appeared on television, Bill, plugging this thing, and Rudy was dressed up as a girl. I'm sure he'll never forgive me.
He drove off the road again.
The only thing that Rudy would ever give me is 2-year notice, where it was the time that we did I think it was the Ed Sullivan Show, and they wanted something a little different, so we put a wig on Rudy, dressed him as an old lady, sat him in a chair, and he's never forgiven me for it. It's called Woe Mabel, anyway.
Right, Bill Haley in the Comets and Woe Mabel. It's 1:45. This is Cruising on Capital with Roger Scott in the studio with the big daddy of them all, Bill Haley, this afternoon. At 2 o'clock, incidentally, Tim Rice. You don't know what you got, including this week's American Top 10, some of the new American releases, plus a stack of some great oldies. That's at 2 this afternoon with Tim Rice. We mentioned in passing a little while ago an album called Rock Around the Country that Bill did fairly recently. How long ago was that, Hugh?
Let me consult my piece of paper. Here we are, October 1971. It was recorded in Nashville.
You said there was a story behind Me and Bobby McGee, which is on the album.
Yes, Sam Charters, the A&R man, came to me with the song. We were choosing material for the thing, and he said, Bill, here's a tune that's been recorded by Roger Miller. It's been recorded by Country Charlie Pride. It hasn't happened yet, and do you want to do it? I didn't want to record the song because you can't fight such great artists as this, so we took our time with it, and we felt that Roger Miller had treated it too lightly. We felt that Charlie Pride did it too seriously, and we came up with this version that you're going to hear. But at the same time, unbeknownst to us, a young lady called Janis Joplin was recording it in a studio in Nashville, in Los Angeles. I'm sorry. It was to be released, and unfortunately, the death of Janis Joplin was a few days after that. And our record company decided not to release this version of it. But one of the greatest compliments I think we've ever had, as Patty just said, Chris Christopherson has chosen this as what he feels is the best version of the tune. And so that's about all we ever got out of it. But I love the tune, and I hope the people will like it. It's in the album Rockin' Around the Country.
Such a song. Songs like that that'll be around almost as long as Rock Around the Clock, probably.
Well, I certainly hope so. It's a great tune. Chris Christopherson, I think, is one of our great writers, and he continuously comes up with good material.
Right. I think, the time is leaping away with us here. When Hugh first came in here, he said, God, 2 hours. But it's gone, and we haven't had nearly time for all the records that we wanted to play, haven't had time for all the phone calls we wanted to take. But we've got time for one more call, and on the line is John Nichols. Hello, John.
Hello, Rog.
How are you?
Not too bad, thank you.
Good. Say hello to Bill.
Hello, Bill.
Hello, John. How are you? All right.
Good, great talking to you. How's the tour going?
Thank you, buddy. You say, how's the tour going?
Yeah.
Well, it's going just fine. Gee, we had great crowds last night, met a lot of wonderful people, and the show went real well, completely sold out.
No wonder I'll come get a ticket. Fantastic. I'll try and see it at Stevenage.
Well, wonderful.
Well, I was going to say, you was asking that you didn't know how many records you had in one time in the charts. Was that?
Do you remember?
Yeah, you had 5.
5?
Yeah.
Wonderful.
So if I remember rightly, 1956.
Yes.
You had 5 all in one go.
Well, wonderful.
I can't remember all of them. I think See You Later Alligator, Rip It Up.
Rock Around the Clock was one.
Yeah, Rock Around the Clock.
Rock-a-Beat and Boogie, probably. And
That's the one, yeah.
all the biggies, anyway.
Funny, I was going to ask you what your influence on music was, but I think you've really answered that. It was more or less country and western, wasn't it?
Well, yes, country and western, rhythm and blues. But I basically was a country and western singer. My dad was from Kentucky, and he was played mandolin and banjo. And my mother was from Ulverston, near Liverpool, in England, and she was a piano teacher. But the early influence came from Hank Williams, who I just idolized and had the pleasure of knowing.
Yeah, great. I like him. He's really good. Well, that's about all I can ask, actually. It's just great talking to you.
Thank you, John. It's a pleasure talking to you.
And also, my wife sends you her love.
Thank you.
Okay?
Okay, John, thank you very much.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. 8 minutes to 2 o'clock. Cruising with Bill Haley. It's been an incredible 2 hours. The time really has gone for me as well. I could just sit here all afternoon. I thought, when I thought Bill Haley's coming into the studio, what am I going to say? I thought it's going to be tongue-tied. Me just sit here and look like the first time when I met Presley. I met Presley once in Vegas, and
Yeah.
I just stood there, my mouth open.
He is a
said hello.
wonderful man, Elvis, yes.
Okay, Hugh. We played at the beginning of the show the original Crazy Man Crazy.
That's
and
right.
as we mentioned at the time, it's been re-recorded and it's coming out a new
That's
single in
right.
the States.
It was recorded on Bill's last recording session in October '72, again back in Nashville with Sam Charters, and it's coming out in the States, as you just said, as a single. Probably come out here maybe at the same time as a new single. So it's Crazy Man Crazy, 1972.
Crazy man, crazy.
There it is, the one that really started it all off back in, 1950? Where were we?
That was 1952, Roger,
52.
yes.
Re-recorded. It's going to be the new single in America. Might do it all over again. Crazy Man Crazy. Before we close, Paddy, can you run down those dates again for us?
Yes, Roger. Well, just some of the London dates, but the main one, March 25th, at the Hammersmith Palais, and later that night we'll be doing Beaver. And
That'll
I'd
be
like
a right
everyone to
old
come
rave
along.
up. Hammersmith Palais, March 25th.
Yeah, and Beaver.
And it's going to be Leeds tonight.
Right.
You're off to Leeds as soon as you leave here.
Then we go to Liverpool.
That's right, Liverpool for a week, and then we do 4 concerts after that, and then we come back into London again. And
Great. Do you still get the same kick out of performing today that you used to?
Yes, Roger. I know it doesn't. A lot of people say, "Well, he just says that," but it's not true. I really and truly do. We started out this year the day after Christmas. We took off for Auckland, New Zealand, and Australia. We did a tour of Australia, and I was reminiscing. I said 1957 started like this, and here we are again, 17 years later. I look forward to it because I see good friends of mine. I see people like Hugh McCullum that I only get a chance to see every couple of years, and the people such as that come up to me after the shows, and the ones that we see in the shows, and I get a kick out of seeing them, sitting in a nightclub, and instead of just sitting there quietly, I see them getting up and jumping up and dancing and what have you. And I just love to do it. I really and truly enjoy it.
Well, thank you so much for coming in here this afternoon. It's been a truly, thoroughly enjoyable 2 hours.
Thank you, Roger. It's been my pleasure, and thank you very much, and to all your listeners. And I hope they have a chance to come out and visit with us at one of the shows.
Lots of luck with the tour. Right, Hugh, can you quickly give us your address again so
Yes,
that
sure,
people who
Roger.
want to get hold of the
It's
newsletter?
26 Airedale Road, South Ealing, London, W5 4SD.
Great. Thank you for putting all the records together, Hugh.
It's a pleasure. I'm just sorry we didn't have enough time to play them all.
Yeah, well, I told you, that 2 hours, it whips past. What are we going to close with?
Well, we're going to close with a thing called That's How I Got to Memphis. It was recorded in November '69. It was never released here, and I think it's one of the best records that Bill's ever done.
If you love somebody enough